Hi, this is Donna Byrne, and this is Estates and Trusts. This is our very last set of videos, and we've got a couple of issues to talk about. First of all, who makes a good trustee? How can we protect trustees from liability? And finally, one other issue, what is an accounting and who has to give it? We've got 3 cases to talk about. They'll be treated in 3 separate videos. This one will talk about Johnson versus Johnson. The 2 that follow will talk about Estate of Rothko and In re Williams. So, Johnson, page 654. Hope you read this. This was pretty straightforward, normal tax planning that we used to do for everybody. Catherine and Edward Johnson created an inter vivos trust. It was a typical AB trust. Okay, what this means is that while they are both alive, they're co-trustees, and they put all their property in the trust. Trust is completely irrevocable. When the first one dies, Edward, the trust gets split in 2 parts. Trust A is still revocable. It gives Catherine all of the income, just like she was getting before. She can invade corpus. She has a power of appointment over the remainder. This is completely her money. If she does not exercise that power of appointment, however, this trust is transferred to Trust B after she dies. Now, Trust B is irrevocable. This is basically his half. It gives her income for life, and she can invade corpus if she needs it. She has a limited power of appointment over the remainder. She can only appoint among their joint descendants, right? So hers and Edward's kids. But if she doesn't exercise her power, it all goes to her son, James. So that means everything could go to James, and if nobody does anything, that's what will happen. All right, why do we do these? It's completely revocable during joint lives, just like owning the property. The survivor gets to use all the income, can use the corpus if necessary, just like owning the property. Survivor can leave her half to anyone she wants. The only thing that's different is that the first person to die knows that his half is going to go to his descendants. So it's kind of like owning the property. But it avoids probate, and it takes advantage of the unified credit to minimize estate tax. We used to have to do this. Right now, we don't necessarily have to set these up, although it's still a good idea. Okay, the problem. James, the son, wants an accounting. Catherine is enjoying the income. She doesn't think he deserves one. He wants to know what's in the trust. He wants to know where it's going. Does he have an interest? Does he have a right to say that? This is the question that you might be presented with. This was the entry question for us with Grandpa Bob. Do you have a right to make any demands at all? Well, he has a remainder interest in that Part B trust, which is the remainder beneficiary for the Part A trust. Right? It's a future interest, but it's real. And the court says, yes, Catherine, he has a right to an accounting. You have to do that. All right? Now, the trust had language that tried to draft around this. Right? It said, the trustee shall not be required at any time to file any account in any court. And the trustors direct that only the information concerning the benefits held for or distributable to any particular beneficiary would be revealed to such beneficiary. And no person is entitled to information concerning benefits held for or distributable to any other person. Right? This is supposed to be a private trust. That means you don't get to know how much money is there for me. That was the idea. Okay, does this count for nothing? Yeah, nothing, right? Can't we just get the tax benefits and avoid probate and not tell anybody anything? No, it doesn't work that way. This is the whole thing about a trust. That beneficiary, that remainder beneficiary gets a real interest, right? Remember, we decided that way back in Farkas versus Williams, and needs to be able to enforce it. So this is a duty you can't draft away. We've seen other duties. Duty of loyalty, prudent investing, impartiality, oversight. Which ones of these can you draft away, and which ones should you be able to draft away? And which case was an example of each one? Okay, that's the end of part 1. Come back for part 2.